Hello YouTube. In this tutorial I'm going to go over the basics of Java programming. This is a important language. It's probably one of the most widely used programming languages. Prior to this video, you should have Java JDK installed. I suggest strongly Java 11 or higher. And I also suggest installing Eclipse IDE. Eclipse IDE is available for all major operating systems, including Linux, and it's free, like the Open JDK from Java. Let's start up Eclipse. So it'll select you, or excuse me, it'll ask you where you want your workspace or what workspace you want to load, but by default it should be Eclipse hyphen workspace. Should be fine. I'm gonna press launch. You can change that if you want. If, for example, you want to put your projects on a flash drive or on a remote server location, you can do that. So when Eclipse loads, you might see a screen like this, or you might see some sort of like donate to the Eclipse Foundation thing. In either case, you want to go to where it says File, New, Java Project. Okay, and here you can name the project. It can have spaces in the name. So I'll just call this tutorials for Java. That works for me. And you'll see a little bit of information. You don't need to pay attention to most of this, but you'll note the file location of where it's being saved. And you'll also note that under where it says JRE, it'll have these options: use an execution environment, JRE, whatever. As you can see, I'm using Java 11. I'm going to press finish. That's good. It'll prompt you to create a module. This is a new thing to Java. If you've programmed in Java before, but you don't remember seeing this, it's probably because you were using Java 8 or older. New Java requires modules, or specifies you should have modules. Not necessarily requires, but I'm going to press create. It works. We don't have to worry about it, but like we don't have to worry about, even though we don't have to worry about modules, it just tends to be easier to just press create. Nonetheless, we press close right here, and we don't need to have the module open because we don't really need to mess with it that much right now. So you'll see that the name of your project is right here in the package explorer, and it may already be opened up to right here. If it's not, it'll look like this. You can press that to toggle it open or off, whatever. Under SRC, which means source, that's where your source code files go. You want to create a new, you're going to want to create a new class. And in Java, basically everything's a class. You'll understand what these terms mean in a little bit. We'll go over that. First, we're under source, we're going to press, you can either press new Java class or right click new class. So I'm going to press this button, create a new class, and we can just call it my app something. Press finish. Note the name can't have a space in it. Doesn't like that. And it can't begin with a number. Like that. Doesn't do that. Can't do that. So that should be good. So I did my app, but as one word. Just capitalization to my advantage to make it easier to read. Anyway, press finish. And you should end up with this basic code, right? It doesn't do anything yet. This is more or less the foundations. As you can see, we have right here a myapp.java. That's where this code is contained, right? And in it, we have 3 keywords. We have package, public, and class. We have 2 identifiers or labels. So tutorials for Java, which is the name of our package. that our project is nicely wrapped up in, and my app, which is the name of this file, and class. So, and I'll explain what these things mean, but bear with me. We have to, get the basics underway. We have to make our Hello World program. So press Tab to indent, right? As I've done here. Bear with me. Right? I'm going to write out public static void main and put in parentheses capital S string square brackets args. And then after the parentheses, pull down shift and make curly bracket, press enter, and note that it'll make a curly bracket right here too. So now within here, right, between these two curly brackets, we want to write system.out.println, and put in parentheses some quotation marks, hello world. And then after these parentheses, you should have a semicolon, right? Semicolon signifies that a statement has ended, right? So every statement ends with a semicolon. Not this, though, right? Or this. Public class, my app, right here, that's not a statement. This isn't a statement. This is a statement right here. Line 5, that's a statement. Line 1 is also a statement. It tells us what package we're using. And so we've got hello world. We should be able to run our program if we want. Let's save. You can also press Control S. If you press run myapp.java, it will say hello world. So it'll print out, it'll write that whatever text you have in these quotation marks. If you didn't get that, if you receive like a bunch of red lines, you see red lines, that usually indicates there's an error. If you left off the semicolon and then pressed save and try to run, it won't do it. It'll say errors in workspace. Errors exist in required projects, tutorials for Java. Proceed to launch. And if you press proceed, it will try to run the last version that worked. Otherwise, do it. You press cancel, try to go over the errors. How do you find your errors? Well, there's the red underline. If you hover over it with your mouse cursor, you'll see syntax error, insert, semicolon to complete block statements. You can also press problems down here, and it will tell you like different kinds of problems. You can press this and it'll say errors. It'll even tell you. So in this case, Java Eclipse for Java actually tells us a lot of information about what's going wrong with our program. So press semicolon and it'll fix it. Look at that. Let's save. And then we can run again. And it'll say hello world. So let's have it say something else. So let's have it say, I don't know, just thinking of something for it to say. And run. And it'll say, hello, my name is Bob. Very cool. Very cool. What if we want to do a little bit more than that? What if we want to print multiple lines? So I pressed enter right here and created some new lines. Copy, paste, paste. So you get the impression that system.out.println is some kind of reusable construct, right? You can use it multiple times over and over again, have it say different things. But thus far, what we've accomplished is for it to say exactly what we want. Now, you'll also notice there's a little bit of a limitation if we try to like put quotation marks inside these quotation marks. It will have a problem, as you can see here. And that's because it doesn't differentiate between, the quotation marks that begin and end it, and any that are in between, unless we put an escape character. So if we put like this slash backslash, excuse me, forward slash, because that is a backslash, excuse me. If we put backslashes before these these quotation marks within this larger quotation, it'll print them as quotation marks. So let's try that. As you can see, it says, "Hello, my name, Patricia." I don't know what I'm trying to signify with that, but that's how you would write quotation marks like that. And if we wanted to, add some new lines, wanted to make it like do a line. If we wanted, so okay, so if I press enter right here, right in the middle of the quotation, you'll notice that Eclipse will just automatically do this. Because if it didn't do that, if I just like cut out that part, it'll be an error. It'll be like, what the heck? See, leave that in there. This breaks this quotation up into multiple lines, but if we run it, you'll see it'll look exactly the same in the output. You'll be like, what the heck's up with this? Well, it turns out if you want to show a new line, you have to directly specify. But we want to actually have, like, if we want to show a carriage return or a new line where someone like pressed enter and went on to a new line, we'd actually have to write \n, right? \n, and what that does is it specifies a new line. Now it says, "Hello, my," and then it goes to the next line, "Name is Patricia." So that's interesting, right? Maybe not. That might not be that cool. Let's go a little bit further. Let's make this program interactive. What if instead of just having these, lines where it fires off, "My name is Bob, my name is Patricia, my name is Arnold," what if we ask the person running the program what name they want to put in, and then it'll say, "My name is," and then whatever the user put in. Sounds cool, right? Well, let's try that. Now you're gonna have to bear with me on this. And remember, it has to be between this curly bracket and this one. If you put it out here, it might not work. So you want to put it in these curly brackets. So let's start out with, we're going to create a variable, right? We call it name. Now, I put string before it because when we were messing with the quotations, we were actually messing with strings. A string is when you have a bunch of letters and numbers or spaces or whatever strung together, right? It's text. So we're basically creating a text variable here. We're calling it name. This is the name of the variable. This is the type of it. So it's a string, and it's equal to whatever's in quotations here. So and then we can write out system.out.println again. Got the capital. So Java is case sensitive, so you have to capitalize things where you, in some cases, because you have to. It won't talk about. So we can now write. We can say. We can do this, right? We can string these strings together. So this is a string definition, right? Quote, hello, space, unquote. That's a string. And this up here is a string, but it's contained within a variable. So if I say hello, this string plus this variable named name, it will take the contents of name, in this case, this quotation, and put it right here. So if I run it, it'll say, "Hello, Isabel." Now, this is not quite to where we were hoping, getting the user to actually pick the name, but we're a little bit closer. We have to go a little bit further. So if we want to actually let the user write in a name to have it say, we need to scan for user input. What do you mean by scan? Well, I'll show you. So scanner is a class, right? Which allows you to get the user input. So I'll call this scanner, my scanner equals new. Bear with me. Whoops. And in parentheses, new scanner system.in. And then I put a semicolon. Now it'll have an error. Be like, what is this? But if I hover over it, it'll say it cannot be resolved to a type. But then there's 13 quick fixes available. The first one is usually what's right. Import scanner from the Java.util class. So what does that mean? Well, if I type in import java.util.scanner up here, if I type that up here, right, it'll know. It'll know what scanner is. It'll be like, oh, that scanner. That's what you're talking about. So what does this do? Well, it means I can use all the stuff from the scanner class, which is in this package, java.util. That's a different package. And so now we have use of the scanner class. And instead of having string name equal Isabel, we could have it instead equal something else. We could have it equal my scanner dot next line. My scanner dot next line. Now it has to be, make sure the L is in fact capitalized here. Also, if we run it, you'll notice it doesn't say anything, but it says it's running. You're like, what the heck is this? What's we won't say anything until we've typed anything in because we've not prompted the user. We just have it so that the user can type something. So I'll just type Walid, and it says hello Walid. So we've got it so that the user can actually say something, and it'll print back essentially what the user said. It'll tell user what the user said, which is not very practical, but it's interactive, right? We've just accomplished interactivity. You'll see this yellow line under my scanner. It says resource link, the leak. My scanner is never closed. If you want to make it so it's not upset about it, it's not an error, but it's not okay with that. If I type my scanner dot and then it'll bring up this list of classes, but the first one that shows up is close. It's Eclipse's way of telling us, hey, we have to close the scanner variable so that it stops expecting user input, because otherwise it's just going to leak memory. You don't have to do this, strictly speaking, but it's good form to do that. So now there's no errors or warnings. Before there was just the warning, but anyway, we can try it again. It's not a very smart program. Actually, before we do that, we can write another system.out print ln. Now, if I do this, it'll say enter your name, and I'll write George. Hello, George. Anyway, that's this tutorial. I hope this was informative. I hope this helped a little bit. I'm going to make some more videos soon about this topic and other topics. Hope to catch you next time.